couple times. This is a warm-up. As I said before, you can always add more pressure. With the violin, playing light is what the goal is. Because playing with pressure is something naturally we're going to be able to do. It's playing light. That is the biggest trait of a violinist, but also of a seasoned violinist, because they're touch and they're it's almost like a painting, an intricate painting, but where you can see all the little tiny fine detail, and that comes from the lightness. Almost like an angel, like the levity floating around, zipping forth, back and forth, without really exerting much force or energy. And as I get lighter, I actually use less bows. So as I get lighter, I move faster and I put forth less energy. I'm sort of turning a little bit just because of my posture, just to kind of keep it straight as I can. So like I said before, if you're going this way, you're going to get a crazy sound. But you want to try to play this way as much as possible with your body type. I know for me, because of my height and my stature, the way I'm built, the length of my arms and so forth, and my neck length, and my even going all the way down to my feet, everything goes together in this. I could probably benefit from a 3/4 instrument. Now that is the one where the finger just kind of wants to press. As this presses, this also on the side wants to press. So we really want to loosen the whole thing up. Once this gets light, then we can say, okay, now thumb, you do your thing too. Get lighter. Now I am going to put in my ear thing for this, because playing without this for a long time, it really does kind of lighter, I sort of was getting some funny sounds out of my first fingers. Like, well, where did that come from? I never heard that before. It might be just from the lightness is causing my finger to be so light that it's now maybe going a little backwards or forwards as I remove my finger from the string. Then now I have to relearn, now that my finger is light, how to remove the finger from the string. Polite playing. And in Juilliard, you'll notice they all have this similar kind of very polite playing. And I think it's kind of like the playing you would do for a king. How about the divine child? The Juilliard players is their playing isn't invasive in any way. It's very polite. And I think if we can all learn from them. I had the very famous teacher, I can't remember her name, but she taught so many of them. And the playing just came out so wonderful. Part of the problem with the Juilliard players is they're taught that they're no good. And you can see when they make a mistake or something, it's like the end of the world. See that? That was probably because I wasn't going perfectly parallel. But it also could just be overtones. It could be the weather. It could be, maybe I didn't rosin my bow enough, or maybe there's too much rosin stuck on here. There's so many variables to this. Or, to correct that, if I was in performance, I would just put more pressure down because I wasn't putting a lot of pressure down. So I was exalting that overtone to a maximum degree by continuing. Now I was using a little more pressure there because I didn't want to squeak again. But, you know... If you want to be a violinist, you really ought to throw all dignity out the door. You never know when you're going to have a, you know... God want me to just be doing these music videos, these violin videos online? It just seems that like such a small thing or something that wouldn't even really matter. But that's exactly what God wants and asks of us. He asks us to do simple things for Him. And that's where the joy and the majesty really come in, because He floods it with His graces. Although for us, seemingly, it just seems like we're making a pancake really in our living room. Why do I have to record this? I'm making a pancake, but you know. Now I'm prepping. See, I'm prepping. While trying to keep my arm and my hands completely light. People say, oh, well, this gets so boring. You do the same exercises every day. Well, let me tell you, a jogger has to run around a track every day. And do you think it's, exciting, this work? Practice stuff if we want to, I think the temptation is to put more pressure on the lower strings because they're wider, but it really isn't necessary. Is just as mental as it is physical. So if you have a teacher that can really be good for you mentally, that is also 99% of the battle of the violin. I don't know where I'm in. Get a little more pressure for some reason. Now why play double stops? Why add double stops to this? Well, it's basically an exercise. I'm turning it more into an exercise because the double stops, it really does strengthen the hands in different ways. And also just coordination-wise. Playing double stops is like practicing twice. So it really does, oftentimes can shorten your practice time. You just don't want to overdo it because you can really cramp up if you're not used to it. Especially the octaves, they should be really, really, really light. And when you're practicing octaves, don't worry so much about being in tune. I know that sounds horrible. But the most important thing when you're practicing octaves or double stops is actually the relaxation of the hand while doing it. And it does take time to build up that lightness that comes, ironically, probably from some sort of muscle group that's being built in your fingers in weird ways. Now, I wasn't totally prepped there. I could have done that a little better. Right there, I could have done that better. I could have kind of stretched forward my hand just a little bit. I've heard it said, well, you don't look at your left hand, just look at your bow. But I tend to disagree. You want to know what both the hands look like and are doing. Like, if you're new at this, you may not notice that this hand is doing some bizarre thing. So you're going to want to look at both hands. It's so important. You're going to want, they need to work together. Your eyes, your hands, your ears. Use all that you have to get everything coordinated together. It's so important. I spent so many years not even looking at my left hand. And when I came to look at it, I was shocked. So I would say, just disregard that. If someone asked me, could you play blind or could you play violin deaf? You can play violin blind for sure, but you definitely cannot play it deaf. You have to have your ears. Different. I made these strokes a little lighter. It was so much easier to play that way. This one is where that first finger kind of wants to get sticky because it's kind of going up here. I didn't really put a lot of pressure that time. It was a lot easier.